Honey, please snap out of it. What on earth is going on? I can't believe how distant you've become lately. The tension between us had grown unbearable, and every conversation seems to end with frustration.
You're so loud. I'm going to sleep, so turn off the light, close the door, and leave.
Please don't do this. What were you doing all night? You've been out constantly, and now you come home just to sleep?
I can't sleep. If you keep whining, I'm going out again.
Where do you think you're going? You just got back. Don't you have any sympathy for our daughter? We have a child, so why are you always out?
Do you think I wanted to have a child?
You need to take responsibility. Why are you putting this on me? You're her parent too. This isn't something you can just walk away from. Parents should set an example. If you keep behaving like this, what do you think our daughter will grow up thinking? How do you think she'll feel seeing you constantly leave, ignoring her and treating her like this?
Do you want me to keep nagging? I'm seriously considering divorce at this point.
Honey, I asked you not to do that. Stop bringing up divorce. We've been through enough. Let's not make things worse.
If I want a divorce, what should I do? If you don't want to be divorced, then behave yourself. Other women listening are obedient. So why are you like this?
What? You're comparing me to other women now. I'm your wife, not some stranger to compete with. Is this what you really think of me?
You have no charm, and you don't act sweet anymore. The constant nagging has become unbearable. I'm tired of coming home to this.
I nag because I'm trying to hold everything together. You don't care about our family. You're hardly ever here. Then at least answer the phone. The person waiting all night has no idea whether you are alive or dead.
When did I ever ask you to think about me? Please just don't. I never asked you to wait for me or worry about me. Stop acting like you care.
What do you mean by that? You're my husband and the father of our child, so naturally you are part of my family. You can't just keep walking out on us. You can't pretend like none of this matters.
That damn family. Family. Do you think I married you because I wanted to? If I had known it would come to this, I wouldn't have gotten married at all. If I had to marry someone, I would have chosen someone much prettier and more successful than you. I settled, and now I regret it.
Honey, how can you say that? Do you even hear yourself right now?
I don't know. It's all wrong. I made a mistake marrying you. Having a child, all of it. I'm just going to leave. Don't look for me.
What? You're just going to leave? What about our daughter? What about everything we've built? You can't just walk away from us like we don't exist.
I don't care anymore. I'm done. I'll figure things out on my own. Don't wait for me. Don't call. Just let me go.
You can't do this. You can't just throw us away. We're your family. Your responsibility.
But I don't want this responsibility anymore. This isn't what I signed up for. Goodbye.
Thomas, wait! If there were a time travel machine in front of me, I would return to before I married him. I've thought about this every single day during the 20 years I spent with him, wondering where it all went wrong. Did I marry him without knowing this side of him? Of course, I wasn't completely unaware. There were signs, but they were faint. At the time, I thought he was just a blunt man, someone who didn't show his emotions easily. But I believed that, deep down, he cared. I thought marriage would soften him, make him more understanding. But it wasn't to this extent. I never imagined he could be so violent, so rude. If I had known what lay beneath the surface, I would have never gone through with it. I would have never put myself in this situation. The true nature he had been hiding came out after I had our child. It was as though something shifted in him, and suddenly I was living with a stranger. The man I thought I knew was gone, replaced by someone harsh, cold, and unrecognizable. I didn't know how to handle it, but I stayed. I tolerated everything because I didn't want my child to grow up without a father. I thought that keeping our family together was the right thing to do. That maybe, somehow, things would change if I just held on long enough. But now, after all this time, I'm not sure if I made the right choice. It has been a long and eventful 20 years. My husband brought up the topic of divorce almost every day. He'd say that if I didn't obey him, he'd divorce me. If I asked for money to cover our living expenses, he'd threaten to leave. The reasons for divorce were varied and endless, as though it was his tool to control me. He wanted to live life on his own terms, even after we got married. His desires took precedence over everything, including me. Because he insisted on having a child, I had to take on the burden of supporting us financially while also raising our child alone. He barely contributed, leaving me to juggle both roles. The women he met were always different. They came and went like passing storms, each one worse than the last. One day, a heavily made-up woman barged into our home and grabbed my hair, screaming at me. Another time, a woman tried to harm my daughter. Each of them, in their own way, urged me to divorce him, as if they could see the truth that I was too scared to admit. What could have possibly been so appealing about that man? Even after seeing the abuse he inflicted on me and witnessing our daughter nearly harmed, he didn't stop. His infidelities continued, one after another. But I stayed with him. I did so solely for the sake of my child. It was not an era when divorce was widely accepted, and the stigma was unbearable. I couldn't bear the thought of my child being ridiculed or looked down upon for something that wasn't her fault. I didn't want her to cry over circumstances she couldn't control. So I stayed, enduring it all, hoping that somehow it would shield her from the harshness of this world. Mom, you look so tired these days. Are you okay? Is work tough? I'm fine. But what about you? Are you okay these days? You could just focus on studying, yet you also have a part-time job. Do you even have time to study? Mom, you know I'm your daughter. I inherited your sharp mind, so don't worry too much. Still, I feel guilty that you have to work part-time at such a young age when you should be studying hard and having fun. Worrying is part of life. I'm actually more worried about you. You've had to sacrifice your hobbies and you can't even go out anywhere. Even if you say it's okay, I find joy in raising you. Is all this hardship you're going through because of that useless man you call a husband? It's really frustrating. He even went out again today and hasn't come back. Alice? Is something wrong? I actually saw everything. That worthless man walking arm in arm with another woman. He's cheating on you, Mom. What? You saw them? My part-time job is in the city center. There are plenty of restaurants around there. It was just by chance that I saw them while leaving after closing, and it was truly disgusting. The woman was young, like maybe my age, and she's out in public holding hands with a man twice her age. They seemed so intimate, it was revolting. I literally felt sick. I'm sorry, Alice. I didn't want you to see that. So you knew? He's cheating on you and you're okay with it. It's complicated, you know. I'm not surprised or hurt if that's what you're worried about. Mom, why don't you just divorce Dad? This isn't your fault. Don't blame yourself. What do you mean? You have to divorce him. This is not even a request. I'm telling you, you have to. You need to focus on living your own life. How do you manage to coexist with someone like that? You have been through more than 20 years together. That should be enough. It's okay, Mom. I'll look after you. Somehow, things will work out by living with me. Not at this moment. I need to help you find a husband before anything else. Mom, how does that have anything to do with divorce? Divorced families still face unkindness from the world, especially within the Catholic community. I don't want you to be mistreated or miss opportunities because of something that wasn't your own fault. Mom, what are you trying to say? Is divorce such a big deal? In what way can it interfere with my life? I am an adult. If you don't get a divorce soon, your life will only get worse. I am doing well. I am capable of dealing with life's challenges on my own. There might be times ahead, such as getting married or in social settings, where this could be a concern for you. I won't let that happen. I know your father is out having his fun, but I have a home, and I have a beautiful daughter to support. I have no plans to get married. That really isn't a convincing argument. Why would you even say that? You will find someone you want to marry soon. Who is concerned about the stigma associated with coming from a divorced family anyway? That way of thinking is not common anymore. I hate that type of old-fashioned mindset. I have no intention of getting married. Ever. Even if I meet someone I love, I don't need to marry them. I'm afraid they'll turn out like Dad, which is why I can't do it. Come on, Mom. Please go ahead and file for divorce. Can we get a divorce and you can move on with your life? Is that all right with you? I had been waiting for the child's sake, but the child has become wise and now fully understands the situation. My husband's behavior was so outrageous that even our daughter noticed. But I couldn't face reality. Years passed even after I tried to dissuade Alice from discussing divorce. During that time, my husband regularly brought up the topic of divorce while doing as he pleases all the time. As he got older, I found that there were no companies willing to hire him. Interestingly, he spent more time out of the house than at home, which, in a way, was quite remarkable. He would only come home to ask me for money. When he had a job, he at least earned some money for himself, but when that was no longer the case, he began to rely on me for financial support. One day, my daughter, who had once declared that she would never marry after seeing my situation, cautiously told me that she had met someone she wanted to marry. I was taken by surprise since she had been hiding her romantic life completely. I quickly arranged a date for us to meet and informed my husband as well. When I told him that his son-in-law would be coming over, he decided to stay home that day. I foolishly believed that this indicated he had at least some interest in his daughter. It was a complete illusion, of course. Mom, we're here! Hi there! Are you the one who will become our son-in-law?
Yes, hello. My name is Liam. It's a pleasure to meet you all.
Is that so? You look very cheerful. I like that. It's nice to see someone so happy to be here. Please come in. We're genuinely excited to have you here with us today. I haven't prepared much, but I really hope you're all hungry because I've made sure there's a good amount of food for everyone. Don't be shy and feel free to try everything I've prepared. Just make yourself at home. I want you to be comfortable.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for having me today. Okay, that's not important at this point. What do you do for a living? What do you do to support yourself? I work as an attorney. I previously worked in different law firms. I'm not quite sure if you've heard of the name Arthur. Currently, I am employed at my father's law firm called Arthur, where I'm gaining knowledge of various business strategies. So, you're the lawyer or attorney, right? That's awesome. Is it true that your dad is the owner of Arthur? To my knowledge, that law firm is very popular right now. Many big companies turn to your company for help. I've heard their name mentioned on the news. I suppose you make much more money than others your age.
Why are you even asking my boyfriend that? This is our first introduction. I find this to be incredibly disrespectful. Please stop being so hostile and ask him about other things.
Did I say anything hostile? What gives you the right to say that? I believe you're less mature and polite than I am. Please refrain from interrupting our conversation. These are the essential details I need from your future spouse in order to deepen our understanding of each other. I'm not currently running a law firm directly, but I am earning enough to support my family.
There's no need for you to worry. I have stable income and manage my finances well, ensuring that my family's needs are always met.
Really? If you get married, would you be able to give me some living expenses? I just want to make sure that you can manage everything financially once you tie the knot. It's important to have a clear understanding of your capabilities. I think around $2,000 a month would be sufficient. That amount would really help me cover my basic expenses and give me some peace of mind as I transition into this new phase of life.
Thomas! Please stop! Dad! Please don't ask that sort of question to Liam.
Why are these girls screaming? It's like they've lost all sense of decorum. Don't women know they shouldn't raise their voices in situations like this? What do you think you're doing? It's so disrespectful and chaotic.
Do I look like I won't raise my voice? Just because I'm trying to maintain some composure doesn't mean I won't express my feelings when it matters. I can't believe you would say such things. How can you overlook the reasons behind our emotions? It feels unfair that you would dismiss us like that. I'm fine, so please don't be too angry. I appreciate your concern, but I really want you to understand that I'm handling things well on my own. No, I really can't stand it. What on earth have you done for me all these years? I feel like you haven't taken the time to truly support me or understand my needs. You haven't done anything properly while raising me, and now you expect my husband to cover your living expenses? That seems incredibly unfair. It's like you're putting all the responsibility on him instead of acknowledging your own role in my life. Don't say ridiculous things. I can't believe you would even ask that. It's just like you to come up with these outrageous comments.
You're just like her mother. It's tiresome and utterly exhausting to deal with this kind of behavior. I expected better from you.
Not only have you spent your entire life leeching off my mother's support, but now you behave this way even in front of your soon-to-be son-in-law? This is beyond unacceptable. It's disappointing to see how you refuse to take responsibility for your actions. I tried to be patient. Even when Mom insisted we all have dinner together, I wanted to say that you were unnecessary. But since Mom insisted Liam should meet both parents, I held my tongue and kept my thoughts to myself. If you were going to make such embarrassing remarks today, I wish I had never invited you in the first place. It's disheartening to witness this kind of behavior in our family.
After I gave you life and raised you, this is how you repay my kindness? You dare to disregard me in front of my son-in-law. Do you have any idea how disrespectful that is? You should be more mindful of how your words reflect on our family. Is it not your role to provide financial support and living expenses to your family? Isn't that what a responsible partner does with their spouse? It's essential to understand your obligations to those who depend on you.
Thomas, please.
How ignorant are you? You should know better than to dismiss my contributions and responsibilities. Do you understand how your attitude affects those around you? It's not just rebellious. It's deplorable and embarrassing. The fact that someone who doesn't even know how to show filial piety is planning on getting married and starting a family is beyond me. You better not expect me to pay for your wedding when you haven't demonstrated any sense of responsibility or gratitude towards your family. I thought about investing to gain some benefits since you said you were marrying into a family of lawyers. It sounded promising, but now I question whether you truly understand the value of hard work and commitment.
Do you hear yourself? Investment? Gain? It's obvious how you see me. It reflects your lack of respect for our family and the sacrifices we have made. This level of arrogance is astonishing. You should focus on learning your place in this family before you consider making any investments or contributions. You have money and yet you say such things? How can you even think about making those demands when you're financially stable? It doesn't make any sense. You haven't invested any time or effort in raising me, ever. How are you expecting a return on an investment you haven't made? You can't expect to gain something without putting in the necessary effort and resources. That's not how this works. Am I your product? Is this some kind of business deal you're trying to negotiate? Because it certainly feels that way. I'm a person, not an asset for you to manage or exploit for your own gain.
This is really becoming absurd, and I can't believe we're even having this conversation.
Just stop, both of you! Liam, I'm truly sorry for this. I didn't mean for you to witness this kind of conflict. It's not fair to drag you into our family drama like this. I'm really sorry, but for today, could you take my daughter with you?
Oh, so she gets to leave, but not me? That's rich.
You keep quiet. Liam, go ahead. We'll be fine.
Are you okay?
I'm really sorry. It's your first time meeting your in-laws and it was a disaster. I hope we can try again soon.
I'm okay. I'll see you again once things have cooled down with Alice and her dad.
All right, I'll be in touch again, so take care.
Get back in here! You're letting the cold air in.
You are such a reckless person! How could you make those comments in front of the children? Are you out of your mind? Your lack of consideration is astonishing.
Who in their right mind would shout at their husband like that? That's completely ridiculous. It's pure nonsense, and it's unacceptable behavior in this situation.
Why? I just raised my voice. Is it not permissible for me to do so? After all these years of you yelling at me, am I not allowed to speak up for once? It's about time I express my feelings.
What?
How could you talk to your own child like that? Do you really need to behave this way the first time you meet Alice's fiancé? Is it all about money? You spent all the money you earned for yourself. So why are you trying to create more financial burden for them? They're a young couple saving for their wedding. Instead of wanting her to be happy, you make such absurd remarks that only create more tension and stress.
Did I speak out of turn? Shouldn't we repay the person who has provided food and raised us? It's called filial piety. Shouldn't we be owed a bit of respect? Do you really want no recognition or respect as her mother? It's disheartening to see how you disregard the importance of family and the values we should uphold.
Filial piety? What kind of filial duty can a person who has lived their entire life dismissing their family expect? Did you provide for us? Hell praise Alice. What right does someone who has never contributed even a single cent for living expenses and has squandered everything on entertainment have to bring up such nonsense? You have no authority to speak on this matter. You are unfit to be a parent. You do not deserve any filial piety. Not after everything you've put me through. I will put an end to this. Let's just get a divorce.
What? Divorce? Are you out of your mind? How dare you bring up divorce to me? Do you have any idea how disrespectful that is?
Why? Are you shocked? You have spent your entire life tormenting me with threats of divorce, and you get furious when I finally mention it. It's hypocritical. If you're so intent on this divorce you never truly wanted, then I will make it happen. Let's write the divorce papers. We both deserve to be free from this toxic relationship.
You insolent woman. Divorce? What a laughable notion. What gives you the right to bring up divorce as if it's a simple solution? If it happens, it will be on my terms, not yours. How dare you speak so arrogantly and think you can dictate the terms?
Yes, I have been too accommodating all this time. I've let you have your way for far too long. I'm done being pushed around. I'm divorcing you. I felt ashamed. I was deeply embarrassed by the fact that I had lived with such a person as my daughter's father for 20 years. How could I have allowed myself to be tied to someone so unworthy? I ran out barefoot, my hair disheveled, and I cried uncontrollably to the point where I was not even aware of my own state. The tears flowed freely as the weight of the situation crashed down on me, and I couldn't even focus on where I was going. Once I managed to collect my thoughts, I messaged my daughter on WhatsApp, and she and her husband hurriedly rushed back home. I could only hope that they would arrive quickly to help me through this turmoil. Seeing my swollen face, my daughter was so shocked that she nearly stormed into the house to drag her father out by the collar, but I just managed to stop her, knowing that it wouldn't solve anything. In contrast to my daughter's fiery anger, my son-in-law calmly comforted me and carefully helped me into the back seat of the car to take me to his family's home. His steady demeanor was a welcome relief amidst the chaos I felt inside. I felt immensely embarrassed to show such a pitiful side of myself to someone I was meeting for the first time, but his parents were considerate enough to ensure that I would not feel ashamed. They treated me with kindness and respect, despite my emotional state. Despite the sudden and unexpected situation, they offered me warm tea and kind words. Their gentle hospitality was a comforting balm to my frayed nerves, and for a moment, I felt a glimmer of hope that I could find solace amidst the turmoil of my life. Agatha, how have you endured for over 20 years? As a fellow woman, my heart truly aches for you.
As the head of a household, that behavior is unacceptable. How can one disregard their own wife in such a manner?
I apologize. I didn't mean to intrude unexpectedly and present such a negative impression. A negative impression? This is not something you need to be ashamed about. We are fine. I actually think it's fortunate that my son brought you here and that you're out of your home.
This is domestic violence. The infidelity, along with the continuous gaslighting of his wife under the pretext of divorce, are all grounds for divorce. Do you intend to divorce?
To be honest, I have tolerated it until now, but I have realized that he is willing to inconvenience the children as well. He is not someone who will regenerate or regard his own children favorably. I do not want my children to live like I have. It would have been better if it had ended with just me, but I never expected him to discuss things like living expenses with your son. It's truly embarrassing. I apologize. What's so embarrassing about divorce? Nowadays, is divorce really a shameful thing? We certainly do not think that way.
That's right. Divorce is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. We have many clients who are going through divorces at our law firm. It takes courage to say that you're struggling when things are tough.
We will help you. Don't worry too much.
In this case, take advantage of having a lawyer as a son-in-law. If not now, when will families help each other? Please stay at our place for now. We will take care of everything for you. We will ensure your protection until the lawsuit is resolved. You don't have to worry about a thing. We'll handle it all.
Thank you so much for your thoughtful care. It truly means the world to me right now, especially given everything I've been through. Not at all. Right now, we should clean up and take a break. Let's take a moment to breathe and relax. Shall we go to the pool together? We can get to know each other and later enjoy a nice meal together. Should we all go together when Alice arrives? It could be a great way to unwind. Yes, the pool. I'm fine with that, but I don't have any clothes right now. I didn't expect to end up here, and I certainly didn't pack for this kind of visit. You can wear my clothes. They should fit you well enough, and you'll feel much more comfortable. Tomorrow we will go shopping for clothes and also get some shoes for you. Since Alice will be coming to pick up her things, we can all go together when she arrives. It'll be a fun outing.
That's fine. Just relax and enjoy your time here. When the kids come, let's all go to the pool together. Thanks to you, I can finally ask my son to teach me how to swim. I've always wanted to learn, but I never had the chance before.
Yes, let's do that. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you really think you'll be fine after all this? You're a middle-aged part-time worker. And these numbers seem way too optimistic. You're going to be struggling to survive in no time.
If you have any complaints, feel free to appeal. You could also hire a lawyer and initiate a lawsuit yourself. The outcome is unlikely to be very different. No matter how much we discuss this, I can't see any real changes coming from it.
The state of the world is truly a dire one. It's disappointing to see how people behave so selfishly. You're basing serious life decisions on a dramatic young girl's opinion. What does she even know about marriage? Why should I pay anything when you don't even listen to what I have to say? It feels incredibly unfair to be held accountable when my perspective is completely ignored. Why is there nothing coming my way in terms of property division? I've worked hard for what I have, and it seems like I'm being left with nothing. If you are so dissatisfied, then come to our law firm. We can discuss this matter in detail. I will take my time to carefully outline what exactly you did wrong and how we can address it moving forward. You, a complete outsider. Who do you think you are to meddle in someone else's family affairs? You have no right to assert yourself into this situation without understanding the complexities involved. I'm not just an outsider anymore. We're now related by marriage, after all. It changes the dynamics. Isn't it also my role to help resolve issues that arise among family members? I have a stake in this just like everyone else. Your arrogance has left me destitute. Your inability to see the bigger picture has caused so much unnecessary strife. You want control over Alice for the future. I know everything. I see your motives clearly. You really only think about yourself, don't you? It's all about what you want and how you can benefit from this situation. Let's just go. The children are waiting. We need to focus on them instead of this endless back and forth.
Yes, that sounds good. It's best to move forward and leave this behind for now.
What is this? Are you walking away now? Do you dare to leave before I finish speaking? Don't you think I deserve to be heard?
I'm sorry, but I no longer need to listen to what you have to say. I've reached my limit. After 20 years, you can finally find the freedom you have long desired. Well, it's not as if you haven't lived on your own terms before. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate the arrangements you've made for my stay, and now you're celebrating with us as well. Your hospitality has been overwhelming. I'm really grateful to Liam, too, for making all this possible. Oh, there's no need for that. It's only natural to celebrate good things within the family. We want to create a warm and joyful atmosphere for everyone. I know it's been a tough time for you, so let's eat, drink, and enjoy ourselves today. We deserve a little happiness amidst the chaos.
Yes, today is the day for celebration. I brought bread and sausages from the German grocery downtown you told me you liked.
Liam, you spoil me. That place is way too fancy for me.
Don't be silly. I hope you enjoy it. I got plenty.
Louisa, you have raised a real gentleman here. I'm so happy Alice met your Liam. Me too. They seem to be a great match. You obviously raised her well. You too, Agatha. You're wonderful. I'm so happy to be family with you. You don't mind my using that word, do you? I already feel so close to you. Of course! We're family already. You're much more than in-laws.
Wonderful. Now let's dig into this fine feast. You're too skinny. She needs to eat more. It's important for you to take care of yourself, especially during such a stressful time.
Right. Thank you. So, what are you going to do from now on? I want to know your plans and how you envision the future. If you want to live alone, there will be a lot to prepare. That's true. I should start thinking about it, but take things a little slow. First, I need to find a house and also look for a job. Would you like to live together with us? Pardon? Are you suggesting that I should live here with you? Yes. In fact, we were preparing a country house to live together after the kids get married. We plan to share the yard while separating our respective living spaces. The main residence that Arthur and I have chosen is quite spacious. There are plenty of rooms on the second floor, and we can provide a separate room and bathroom for your guests as well. But even so, living with me might be uncomfortable for both of you. I appreciate your kindness in letting me stay thus far, but I think that would be asking too much of you.
My parents will not be uncomfortable at all. Trust me.
I understand where you're coming from, but living alone can be lonely. And since we're all parents of the same kids, does it really matter if we live together? Don't feel too burdened and let's live together. Then let's have a discussion about it. Arthur might feel uncomfortable with this idea. He'll probably like it too. You can talk to him privately later. He might feel differently.
Actually, my mom was really happy living with you.
She says it's like having a sister. She grew up with only brothers. She's always wanted this. She loved going to the pool and shopping with you. She kept telling my dad that she hoped you would not leave. Liam, that's a little much. Really? Of course. In fact, she already asked my dad for permission. If he had refused, she would have kept pestering him until he agreed. That is the sweetest thing. You have no idea how happy I am to hear this. She is the sweetest, isn't she? You'll love living with her. It's been such a long time since we've been out just the two of us, hasn't it? We used to do this more often before everything got so complicated. Indeed. It's because the kids follow us around every day. It feels like we can't escape their energy, which is both wonderful and overwhelming. Arthur tries to get involved too, and everyone seems so oblivious to our need for some alone time. It's hard to have a moment to ourselves when he's always around. I was really hoping to enjoy a little shopping time, just the two of us, like we used to. But they're all so sweet. I mean, how can you not love their little quirks and personalities? They bring so much joy, even if it can be a bit chaotic. That's true, but still, every now and then a break would be nice. We deserve some quality time together without any distractions. Isn't that your ex-husband? Oh, I can't believe he's here. What? Oh, you're right. He looks so disheveled that I didn't recognize him at first. It's surprising to see him looking like this. It's only been a year since the divorce. How has he aged so drastically? It's hard to believe he's let himself go like this. Wasn't he at least somewhat better looking when we divorced? He seems to have lost the spark he once had. It's shocking how quickly things can change, isn't it? He was the kind of gentleman who would wear a suit even when he wasn't working, as he was busy meeting women every day. He always had to look sharp, making sure he was presentable at all times, which was part of his charm.
I apologize. Are you all right? I'm so sorry for the mess. I hope you're not hurt. What do you think you're doing? You've broken half my display. This isn't a small mistake. It's going to cause a huge problem for the store.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean for this to happen. I was just trying to help, but I guess I miscalculated.
Please call the company and ask them to send someone else. We can't have you here right now if you're going to be a liability. And for now, don't come back here. We need to assess the damage without any further incidents.
I'm sorry. I will clean it up right away. I'll make sure everything is back in order as soon as possible.
Isn't the store display changing nationwide starting tomorrow? With the spring season coming? What are you going to do since you broke this? This is such a critical time for us. Moreover, fragments are flying everywhere, affecting the customers passing by and damaging our store's merchandise, which will also disrupt operations. This could lead to significant losses for us. You will have to compensate these two customers currently here as well. I can't overlook the impact this has had on everyone. I will be filing all the claims, so be aware of that. We can't let this slide without taking the necessary steps to address it. First, apologize to these two. They deserve an acknowledgement of what just happened.
I'm so sorry. Are you hurt? I hope you're okay. That was not my intention at all. I accidentally slipped while moving a piece for the store display. I was just trying to help out, and I would appreciate it if you could be so kind and forgive me. I'll make it up to you in any way I can.
No, I can't just let it slide. This is serious, and we need to handle it appropriately.
Agatha, is that you? I didn't recognize you.
Yes, it's me. It's been a while.
You've really changed. I wouldn't recognize you if I saw you outside. You seem so different from the person I used to know.
You've changed quite a bit, too. We've both had our journeys, haven't we?
We must eat to survive. It's a simple truth, but one that often gets overlooked in the chaos of life.
Yes, it's good to see you living life vigorously. It's inspiring to witness your determination and energy.
Speaking of which, can we have a conversation? I feel there are some things we need to discuss. I wasn't who I am now in the past. I've changed. I've now gathered my thoughts, and I'm working hard to turn my life around. So let's live together and support one another. It's about time we found a way to coexist peacefully. As a gesture of atonement for my past, I will treat you and Alice very well. I want to show you that I can be better and that I am committed to making amends. Life is incredibly difficult, and I know that we need each other now more than ever.
What about the girls you threw money at when you were younger? Aren't any of them willing to support you now? None of them. I remember them telling me I'm worthless and that I should get a divorce. You too. Your words still haunt me sometimes. I never forgot how you made me feel.
Back then, I was naive. I believed in the fairy tale, but reality was far harsher than I ever expected.
Whether you are wise or not is not my concern. Just deal with the fallout from your actions. You need to take responsibility for what you've done. If there are legal issues, call this number. You need to sort this out before it spirals out of control.
Is this your business card? So I can contact you again?
It's not my phone number. It's your son-in-law's law firm. They cover cases of accidental damages. It's a valuable connection that can help you. The store has suffered significant losses. You should get some legal aid to resolve the compensation claims smoothly.
Darling, please help me. You need to talk to the store owner and rescue me from this situation. I can't do this alone anymore.
I am also a victim like Louisa. Why should I save you? She needs to go to the hospital to obtain a medical certificate.
You're perfectly fine. What medical certificate?
I haven't been in good shape at all because of you for quite some time. Well, it's fortunate. Thanks to you. I'll have to undergo a full-body examination. Are you all right? Did any fragments hit you? Now that you mention it, my right hand does feel a bit tingly.
Oh dear. Please head to the hospital quickly. Don't worry about the costs. Just send us the bill. The store will take care of everything for you.
Yes, then we'll be on our way.
Honey, what are we going to do like this? I'm begging you to save me.
Viola, this man is a liar and a cheat. Don't go easy on him. He needs to take responsibility for his actions.
No. Honey!
Thomas seemed to be struggling to survive, having aged significantly since we last met. It was shocking to see how time had taken its toll on him. What woman would even glance at a man who, in his old age, possesses nothing and has a terrible disposition? It's hard to imagine anyone wanting to be associated with him now, given how he carries himself. Perhaps it would be different if he could provide financial support and offer some strength. If he had managed to build something for himself, maybe he wouldn't look so defeated. Now, having become a toothless tiger, he is on the verge of losing the meager job he managed to secure. It's almost ironic. He once believed he was invincible, and now he's struggling just to stay afloat. Viewed purely from a human perspective, one might feel pity for his current state. However, considering the years my daughter and I suffered at his hands in the past, he deserves even more suffering. The pain he inflicted on us still lingers, and I find it hard to muster any sympathy for him. The fact that we have crossed paths again after all this time feels like fate, and I intend to torment him thoroughly. This encounter isn't just a coincidence. It's a chance for me to stand up to him after all those years I couldn't. The nerve of him to ask me to help him after all he's done to me and Alice. My testimony for the store alongside Louisa's will put him in further debt, and he will know I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. Alice says she doesn't want to be involved because she'd rather not see her father. She's happy now and has loving parents-in-law, and a baby on the way. We're all very excited to meet our first grandchild.
Thank you for watching. If you found it enjoyable, please press subscribe and like.